Yo guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome if you've never been here before. So just jumped on today to do my euro dollar pound dollar forecast for the week commencing the 7th of August. Before we get started, I do have a written version of this available, and that written version will be linked in the description. So guys, let's jump into it. So I'll start with the euro dollar today. So looking at euro dollar, I'll go from the weekly. So on the weekly, we're still in this bullish structure. We can see since September that we've been moving upwards and we've moved up 1500 pips. So overall, I am expecting that continued bullish market and that next wave of bullish price action. So the real question, like I said last week, is when is this going to happen? Obviously, if we see this law, violated, then we can look at a change in bias. But for now, I'm very bullish on the weekly, so I'm just expecting it to continue higher. So looking at the weekly chart, we've got this order block down here. So potentially price could come down into this weekly OB and then we could see price move further from there. So that's one possibility of how the weekly could deliver, and it's probably the most efficient in terms of the actual weekly structure. But when we go down to the 2-day, what we can see is the most recent break of structure has actually been caused here. So we've got a break of structure there. Now that break of structure originated from this order block here. So for me, really, it's fully possible that price can just now continue after mitigating this order block here. So looking at current price action, we've actually spent the last couple of weeks retracing down into this leg. We've now actually tapped off the order block as I've marked it on the 2-day, and we've essentially printed 2 days bullish. So the possibility is that we're just going to continue higher now away from this 2-day area, and then we can take price higher to break these highs. So going down further to the 4-hour, we've now actually tapped into the 2-day area, and then we've created this next break of structure on the 4-hour. So for me, really, going into the week, the first thing that I'm looking at is this 4-hour bullish continuation, and that'll be a bullish continuation to break structure again, which will basically be the reaction from this 2-day order block. Following that, if we do get this play out, then what I'll be expecting is price to essentially reach back up into this area, and then this is essentially a bearish OB. So when we do get back up into this area, that's when we'll see if either we're going to have the full follow through to break structure again on the daily and we continue with this path, or we'll just get the delivery of the current 4-hour structure, and then once we get into this bearish OB, we may see price then start to come back further down and start to do something like this. So that's pretty much what I'm looking at this week on the euro dollar. When we do get into this bearish OB, if we do then see price start to sell off and continue to sell off, then at that point I'll expect price to basically continue to sell rest of the week, and then we'll be looking at whether to start buying from again in this OB, or if we are looking at that continued bearish delivery on the 4-hour. So going into the week, first opportunity is this bullish buy here, which with the first target being this bearish OB, and then we can see if we get a continuation. Second opportunity, if we do get into that bearish OB, technically still against the daily, so worth bearing in mind, but we can look for themselves, and then look to deliver that deeper into the 4H bullish structure. So that's pretty much the two main trades that I'm looking at this week. Other than that, if price does just come straight down into here at the start of the week, we can still look for buys in this daily area to then deliver us higher. Or if price prints new bullish structures, we can look to continue bullish on the 4-hour. Other than that, I think that's pretty much everything on euro dollar. If this bearish situation does end up playing out, it's probably going to take the whole week anyway. So I doubt we're going to end up in this weekly OB this week. So I'll save that for next week. Pretty much, I'm just expecting this situation or just a failure, and we'll retrace deeper into there. So that's what I'm looking at on euro dollar, is how this 4-hour structure is going to unfold. Now, looking at pound dollar, pretty similar again because they are highly correlated. So on the weekly structure, again, since September we've been bullish. We're now still bullish on the weekly structure, so we're expecting at some point that the high is going to be taken, take out the weekly liquidity. Now, in terms of where we're actually going to go from. Again, we've got our weekly OB down here, which is the last candle refinement that I've used here. And then again, just like on euro dollar, we've got the 2-day order block. Now, unlike euro dollar, we've actually got pretty efficient pricing on the weekly because there's no real imbalance. So really, it makes sense for price if it does continue away from the 2-day order block. So scrolling down, we've got the clear reaction off the daily 2-day order block, which I've been talking about. So for me now, initially, I'm just going to look to follow this bullish reaction, and then we'll see where we go from there. So in terms of following this bullish reaction, we've got this 2-hour break structure, which has presented a clean continuation opportunity. So I think the first thing that I'll be looking at this week really is the buy out of here. Obviously be wary, we could get some type of absorption below this area. So if we do see price dip below and then fly up, that wouldn't really be too surprising, and wouldn't really invalidate the whole idea. But I do think that this 2H structure is going to deliver bullish price action, and that'll at least take us up further into the bearish situation, and then we'll see either we're going to continue like on EU, or we'll fully reverse and end up going further down for the rest of the week. So looking at the 8-hour, we can see here we've got that bearish OB on the 8-hour. So I think for me really what I'll be looking at is a continuation of 2H bullish structure. That'll deliver us up into this 8-hour area here, and then once we get into the 8-hour, that'll really be the deciding point of whether we're going to basically sell off and then deliver further down, or if we are going to make that full bullish transition and then continue higher. So two main opportunities this week for me on pound dollar is buys out of this area and sells out of this area here. So if we can get some lower time frame entries, we could get some pretty decent moves because it's decent sized ranges there. So let's just see what happens this week. As always, price could just continue downwards and, just violate this idea. In that case, if we still maintain this structure here, I would be open to lower time frame bullish shift to market structure for that bullish play higher. Other than that, I'd expect price to come deeper into the weekly area, and we can look to take those hourly structures lower if we do get a bearish transition on the hourly structures. So guys, hope that was clear today. Hope it makes sense. Again, main thing that I'm looking at is how this structure is going to unfold, and what I'm expecting is the bullish delivery on the 2H, and then either we continue higher and break structure on the daily, or we fully reverse, keep going down and follow through that 8H structure to deliver us lower into the weekly range. So that's what I'm looking at, guys. Hope you enjoyed this forecast, and if you got any questions, then just leave them in the comments. Also remember, guys, I've got the written version linked in the description, so anything that's not clear, you can just look into that. All right, cheers, guys. Trade your plan this week and stick to your risk. Cheers.